Welcome to the Sporthouse Sood in Amsterdam for a night of international kickboxing. And what a night it's going to be. We have 5 fights for you, all with an international flavour. We see a young fighter bidding to become the champion of Holland, but facing the challenge of a top Frenchman. We see a real grudge fight between 2 Dutchmen with no love for each other, and a 3-match international between Holland and Japan. In this sport, almost anything goes, except butting, elbows and kicks or punches to the groin. Points are scored for both punches and kicks, and of course all fighters look for the knockout. A large crowd in Amsterdam, including perhaps surprisingly many women, for an explosive night of international kickboxing. Milo Elgirbly, born in Morocco, now a resident of Holland, lives in Amsterdam, and this tonight a most important fight for him, because he knows if he wins this fight that he will be declared champion of Holland at his weight of 53 kilograms, because there is no one in Holland able to beat him. But his opponent tonight is a strong one. Sokti Uer, born in Laos, living now in Paris, and a very fearsome fighter. He has the weight advantage as well, 57 kilograms to Elgirbly's 53 kilograms. 5 2-minute rounds. The referee, Ron Coit. And giving advice there, Jan Plas, the man who coaches Elgirbly, and perhaps the greatest exponent of kickboxing in the world. 5 2-minute rounds. Elgirbly representing Holland in the long trousers against Uer from France. Both fighters starting cautiously. It's an important fight, it's a big fight. Sizing each other up, looking for the opening. And now it begins. Into the clinch, Elgirbly against the ropes, but a tremendous fighter, only 17. 5 fights so far, unbeaten. Good punch there from Elgirbly. That one counted. And retaliation from Uer. Knee into Elgirbly's stomach. He retaliates with the back of the heel. Strong left. End of round 1. And a very even first round. But Sokti Uer from Paris is a formidable opponent. From the Yamatsuki club, 21 years of age. A man who says he's had many fights and many wins. He won't say how many. Again, waiting for the opening. And it's the Frenchman who got in first. Good kicking there from Elgirbly. Down they go. Elgirbly really working on the legs of Ua. Digging away all the time at his legs, trying to cause him cramp immobility. The feet, the shins of these fighters are like steel. Elgirbly digging away all the time. Good left. See those legs going in, those knees going in. That's the end of the second round. And tremendous support here for Elgirbly here at the Sporthaus Zuid in Amsterdam. Several thousand spectators here. Tremendously enthusiastic crowd. Third round of this 5 two-minute round competition. Elgirbly representing Holland against Ua representing France. Elgirbly in again with the feet, both men down. Good punches to the head there from Ua, and Elgirbly retaliates tremendously. This is what the crowd wants. This fight now beginning to come to life. Good right hand there, right hook to the jaw. The Frenchman would have felt that. And straight in. Retaliation, this is much more like it. Good fighting, good kicking, good punching from Elgirbly. And Ua could be in trouble here. Elgirbly has just got him where he wants him. No retaliation, tremendous right hand, he's down, he had to go down. The crowd love it, the crowd here going absolutely mad. And Ua could well be counted out here. Yes, he is, it's all over. Victory for Milo Elgirbly, born in Morocco, now lives in Amsterdam, and that victory makes him the undisputed champion of Holland. Meanwhile, his opponent, Sokti Ua, is out for the count. He was going well in the first 2 rounds, then he got hit by a barrage of kicks and punches from Elgirbly, and he had no answer to them. Jan Klaas, absolutely delighted. You can see him there with Elgirbly. You
because this man he thinks will be a great champion. The crowd here in Amsterdam love him. It was a fight he had to win. He won it in style. Now, this is going to be a real revenge fight. Peter Vanoss of Holland against Bloomberg of Holland. It's Vanoss in the trousers. There you see him. 20 years of age, 9 fights, won 8, lost 1. Bloomberg has the same record. 9 fights, won 8, lost 1. The one fight that Bloomberg lost was against Peter Vanoss 2 years ago. And Bloomberg has never forgiven him for it, and tonight he says he's going to get revenge. 5 2-minute rounds. They're equally matched in weight, 72 kilograms. But it's Vanoss who in fact gets in first, and that won't please Bloomberg one little bit. Knee goes in there from Vanoss. Really wrestling now. Vanoss in the corner. Kick to the head. Kick in the stomach. A lot of kicking here from these two men, and Vanoss's knee in again. There is no love lost between these two at all. Sportsmen outside the ring, inside it, they hate each other. And it has to be said, when one of these fighters kicks you, it is just like being kicked or hit by a piece of steel. Hours of training to make those feet, shins, legs rock hard. Referee will break them. End of the first round, and just a hint there of what's to come, I think. This could well be quite a violent fight. It's also a fight, in a sense, between the two coaches. Tom Haring there, who in fact runs the Takayuki club in Amsterdam, and up against him Jan Plas, who runs the Majiro gym and looks after Peter Vanoss. Jan Plas, you see him on the right of the picture there. A tremendous fighter, a tremendous coach too. There is none better in the world, in fact. Round 2 then. Peter Vanoss against Bloomberg. Vanoss, remember, wearing the long trousers. Second of 5 rounds. Bloomberg in there with a right, kicking high, and a left. Bloomberg looking for revenge for that one defeat against Vanoss, but he's going to find it hard to come by. Because Vanoss is some fighter, 20 years of age. Low round kick there from Bloomberg. That's painful. Vanoss in the corner. Large crowd here in the Sporthouse Zuid in Amsterdam, several thousand people, and most of them seem to be behind Vanoss. Popular fighter, nice right hand there to the jaw. And it looks as though Bloomberg is in trouble, clutching his stomach. And the crowd don't like that at all. Bloomberg back to his corner. Looks to be okay. Fight on, says the referee. But maybe an indication there that Bloomberg is in the spot of pain, a spot of discomfort. And Vanoss will want to move in now and capitalise on that. Bloomberg fighting back. Good right hand from Vanoss. That's the end of the round, and a good round that for Peter Vanoss from the Majiro gym. Round 3 then, 5-round fight, Peter Vanoss versus Nick Bloomberg. And you caught a glimpse there of the lady who is in fact the Dutch ladies kickboxing champion. And very pretty she is too, far too pretty to be risking damage in a sport like this. They're in the corner now, and Bloomberg again in a spot of trouble. Vanoss has got him on the run, rights and lefts. And Bloomberg now hiding his face, the knee going in there, the legs. Vanoss, a very smooth mover, fast. Good left, inside of the glove. Knee to the stomach. Vanoss back in again, and that hurt. It's really beginning to look a matter of time now before Vanoss puts Bloomberg down again, unless the 20-year-old Bloomberg can find some way of dealing with this machine he's facing. Oh, kick to the face. And Vanoss got home with that one, but Bloomberg somehow manages to come back for more. End of the round. 3 rounds gone, 2 to go. Round 4 then. Peter Vanoss, Nick Bloomberg. And away they go. But Bloomberg just a little wild, just a little erratic, and he's not connecting as much with his feet as is Vanoss. Bloomberg off balance. Nice right hand. But again, a little erratic from Bloomberg. But you've got to give it to Bloomberg. He's got plenty of guts. Once or twice he's looked to be in real trouble, but he's still in there punching. And again he could be in trouble. Vanoss got him right against the ropes. And a nice right-hander from Bloomberg. Vanoss just looking a little bit tired now, or is he fooling? End of the fourth round then, 1 round to go. A lot of talking there from Tom Haring. I wonder if it's going to do any good. Round 5, the last round then in this revenge match between Peter Vanoss and Nick Bloomberg. Vanoss on the left of your picture as you look at it. Fought very well indeed for the first 3 rounds. Looked to me to go off a little bit in the last round. This, the all-important 5th and final round. Both men with identical records. 1-8, lost 1. 2 gutsy fighters. Vanoss now coming back a bit, got his man against the ropes, looking for the knockdown. Referee trying to force them apart and eventually succeeds. After 5 rounds of this, these two will sleep well tonight. Nice turn there from Vanoss. Finding a bit more aggression. Vanoss in again. Caught a nasty one though to the jaw from Bloomberg there. And this time it's Vanoss who goes down. Both sets of coaches screaming advice to their respective fighters. And that's it. It is all over. Well, Nick Bloomberg came here tonight looking for revenge over an old rival, Peter Vanoss. He's waited 2 years to get that revenge. And he got it. Mixed reaction from the crowd. But it's victory for Bloomberg and revenge over Peter Vanoss for that defeat 2 years ago. And you can hear the reaction of the crowd, several thousand of them in the Sporthouse Sword in Amsterdam. They don't like it. But that's the result, and it's victory to Nick Bloomberg, and whatever else you can say about him, He's a fighter with a lot of guts, because he looked in trouble several times, but he came back, he found reserves of energy, and he came back to win. So, the first then of three-match international challenge between the Netherlands and Japan. A fascinating confrontation between the Japanese, who've led the world in kickboxing, and the Netherlands, the nation who would seek to challenge that domination. And the first of these three fights brings together from the Netherlands Lucien Carbine, and from Japan Asumu Inaba. 5 3-minute rounds, and this should be quite something. Carbine, coloured fighter from Amsterdam. Never seen his Japanese opponent fight, and says that is the best way. It's best not to know anything about them. Then you have no preconceived ideas. The Japanese regarded as slow starters in this kind of fighting, and Carbine has it in mind to, if this is the case, to try and burn his opponent out in the first 2 or 3 rounds, because after that anything could happen. Straight kick there from Carbine. Both men feeling the way a bit at the moment, you can't blame them. A bit of aggression there from Carbine, beginning to gain in confidence. Tremendous fighter, European knockdown champion, European full contact champion, and Inaba struggling there for a moment. And Carbine as well, European kickboxing champion. One hell of a fighter. 20 fights, unbeaten, he's won them all. And this is one he'd very much like to win. Tremendous support from the crowd, several thousand of them, in the Sporthaus Zuid in Amsterdam, and almost to a man there behind the Dutchman. But no one underestimating Inaba. Not a lot happening so far, but it will. Good kick there. Low round kick from Carbine, and they really hurt. And again. Vicious kicks, those. Those legs strengthened by hours and hours of training against the sandbag. Scoring there and there. Good punching, good kicking now from Carbine. And the Japanese fighter Inaba is down already. He was expected to start slowly, but not as slowly as this, and he could be out for the count. Yes, he is. That is a sensational victory for the Netherlands in the first fight against the Japanese. A sensational victory for Lucien Carbine of the Netherlands, 28 years of age, from Amsterdam. What a fighter he is. 21 fights now, he's won them all. But you've got to feel sorry for Inaba, the Japanese, because it was his birthday today. 22 years of age, and what a birthday present he's had. It's one he won't forget in a long time. And this man, the runner-up in the national Japanese championships. But he's in real trouble now. He's not sure if he's in Holland or Japan. But he's a fighter of pedigree, 18 fights, 16 wins, but it wasn't good enough tonight against the Dutchman Lucien Carbine, and that's given the Netherlands a tremendous start in this three-match battle against Japan. The crowd are delighted, and so is Lucien Carbine. Sensational victory then for Lucien Carbine, and in this international challenge, the Netherlands leading Japan 1-0. The second fight in this three-match international challenge between the Netherlands and Japan should be some fight, because it brings together Brielman from Holland, the man they call the Rocky Marciano of kickboxing, or the little gorilla, and up against him Kyoji Saito of Japan. That's Brilleman in the white trunks, European kickboxing champion. And this, the man that Brilleman says is the perfect fighter. I have to some way find a flaw in his fighting ability if I'm to beat him. Saito of Japan. Saito will be very, very upset because Inaba, the first Japanese fighter to go on, was beaten by Lucien Carbine of the Netherlands. Saito will want revenge for that. Honour is at stake here, international honour, but he's going to have his hands full against little Brilleman. Both of them evenly matched, 68 kilograms. But Brilleman is some fighter, the mean machine. A tremendous kicker, utterly fearless. Doesn't know the meaning of the word fear. He'll fight to the death. He might have to. Brilleman, of course, would love to emulate the success of Carbine. Might find it more difficult, but the Japanese fighter goes down, waves away assistance, and tries to retaliate immediately with a low round kick. And Brilleman goes down, but he's on his feet straight away. And this is going to be, as I say, I think, some fight. Fighters like Brilleman, super fit, train as much as 30 hours a week, and it's the most physical kind of training that it's possible to imagine. Brilleman already starting to use those feet. Oh! But Saito looks a useful kicker himself, in actual fact. He's giving as good as he's getting so far. 5 3-minute rounds. This is the first. And down goes Saito, on his feet though immediately. Determined not to give Brilleman any kind of psychological advantage. Knees in there. And down they both go. And Saito with 1 or 2 problems. And Brilleman, I think, sensing he's got a bit of a chance here. End of the first round, and a suggestion, I think, of the drama that's to come. Start of the second round then, in this 5-round contest between Brilleman of the Netherlands and Kyoji Saito of Japan. Brielman, European champion. Saito, Japanese champion at 65 kilograms. Fighting tonight at 68. Saito, I think, saw the mistake that Inaba made in starting slowly, and he's not making the same mistake. Kick to the back there, but Brilleman retaliates. You can hear the shouts of support for Brilleman. Big crowd here tonight, and they desperately want the Netherlands to do well against the Japanese. Saito against the ropes, not a good place to be. The referee, though, splits him up and then says, box on. Vicious kick from Saito, but he's the one who goes down. Oh, good flurry of punches there. Good combinations from Brielman. But he's quick on his feet, Saito. He's down again, though. Oh, good chance there for Brielman to capitalise on the off balance. End of the round. 2 rounds gone. 3 to go. Round 3. Andre Brielman, Netherlands. Kyoji Saito, Japan. Brielman getting stuck in there and felt the full weight of the Japanese fighter on top of him there. Tough little character though, Brielman. 21-year-old, born in Paris, but lived in Amsterdam pretty well all of his life. 17 fights, 116, 8 knockouts. But he's been known even to fight with a broken hand. Saito, 25, from Tokyo, from the Kurosaki club. 31 fights he's had, 25 wins. And they're well matched, these two. crowd like that. And down they go again. And again. Nice right hand there from Brilleman, but the man they call the little gorilla has found someone here tonight who'll give him a fight. Look, for a moment, there was as if Saito was a bit winded there, but he's back on his feet again. End of the third round, and that means 2 rounds to go, and this fight beautifully poised at the moment. Round 4 of this 5-round battle between Andre Brilleman of the Netherlands and Kyoji Saito of Japan. An excellent fight so far. Difficult to see how it's going to end at this moment. So much at stake. Oh, almost out of the ring there, the Japanese fighter. Brielman trying everything to unnerve his opponent. That knee would have hurt from the Japanese fighter. Well, Brielman said he didn't know what the flaw was in this man, and I don't think he's yet spotted it. Little bear hug there, and the referee breaks them up. Brielman with those paralysing kicks, but the Japanese fighter extremely useful with his knees. knee to Brilleman's face happened after the bell had gone at the end of that round. The referee, in fact, had a quiet word with Saito. The fifth and final round, Andre Brielman of Holland, Kyoji Saito of Japan. And it's anybody's fight at the moment. This the last of the 5 rounds. 3 minutes more of this punishment they've both got to take, and the pressure now really being turned on. Well, the Japanese are strong finishers. Will Saito, I wonder, be too strong for Andre Brielman? Will this be only the second defeat of his career, the illustrious career? Or will he score another notable victory for the Netherlands against the might of Japanese kickboxing? We shall see. Box on. Still kicking Brilleman, but some of those kicks not connecting as well as they were earlier on. Crowd here urging both fighters on. Good left there from Brilleman. Support here as well for the Japanese fighter Saito, because he's fought extremely well and the crowd know it. Good sporting crowd. This really has been a titanic tussle between these two. I think not easy. Good knee there from Saito. Not easy for the judges to separate them. Nice left from Saito. And that's it. It's all over. Now comes the verdict. It must have been so difficult. And Brilleman has got it. A lot of people thought it might be a draw, but Andre Brielman has taken it, but it must have been by the narrowest of margins. Brielman, I think, thought he had won it. But my goodness me, he was taken all the way by Saito. And a mixed reaction from the crowd. I think maybe they'd have preferred the draw, but you can't take it away from Andre Brielman. He's a brilliant fighter. And he scored a notable victory here tonight. Another notable victory for the Netherlands over Japan. And tremendous applause for this Japanese fighter, Saito. But nonetheless, it is now 2-0 series to the Netherlands. So the third of these three fights in this international between the Netherlands and Japan. Netherlands leading 2-0 so far, and this should be some fight too. Robbie Kaman of the Netherlands against Takayuki Morimoto of Japan. And Carmen is an extraordinarily good fighter. European kickboxing champion, European full contact champion. 20 years of age, from Amsterdam. 20 fights, he lost 2 of them. And a good kick there, tremendous high left kick. And the 2 fights he lost were in fact the very first 2, he says, against far more experienced opponents. His opponent tonight, Morimoto, 23, from Tokyo. Japanese, number 2. 22 fights, 17 wins. There's quite a weight difference between these two, though. Carmen, 72 kilograms. Morimoto, 64. Difference of 6 kilograms. Fine-looking specimen, Carmen. A real Adonis and a tremendous fighter. Looking to, nice right there, and a good kick to the stomach as well. Another good kick, low round kick. The Japanese retaliates. Carmen looking to round off a memorable night for kickboxing in Holland. To beat the Japanese really is an amazing achievement for the Dutch. Kaman has advantage in height and reach as well, but no one should underestimate the cunning and the strength and the spirit of these Japanese fighters. Good punches and a good kick there from Kaman. 5 3-minute rounds. End of the first round. Cool, confident display from Robbie Kaman, but Morimoto performing well, starting slowly, as Japanese kickboxers tend to do. 4 rounds to go. Robbie Kaman, like the other 2 Dutch fighters who fought in this international challenge tonight, all coached by the great Jan Plas. Oh, and straight in there, Carmen. This the second round of 5. If it goes that far, the crowd, I think, are hoping it won't. Nice right hand. Powerful puncher is Carmen, and follows through with some devastating kicking. And Morimoto goes down. But for how many? Yes. He wants to carry on, getting his win back there, but Carmen sensing a kill now, I think. I tell you, one man I would not like to be now is Takayuki Morimoto. Not a good place to be for him out there. Powerhouse punching now from Carmen. Morimoto's down again, and the white towel is thrown in by the Japanese corner. Victory for Robbie Carmen, and a sensational victory for the Netherlands over Japan. Morimoto really always in trouble in terms of size and weight and punching ability, and Robbie Carmen scores a notable victory for himself and for kickboxing in the Netherlands. That's what it's all about. The trophy goes to Robbie Carmen, and victory goes to Holland. And it seems there's now a new master race in the world of kickboxing. So tonight then we've seen some great kickboxing, we've seen a great triumph for the Netherlands against Japan, and this is just the start of some really exciting international coverage of kickboxing that we have coming your way in the next few months.